please help me welcome your first storyteller. Remember, energy, 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 okay? All right, please give it up. Telling love in Baltimore, the birth of a peace goon, Mr. Darnell Wharton!
I'm a loving husband.
Yes, you are.
I'm a caring father.
Yes, he is.
I'm a God-fearing, hard-working black man.
Yeah.
But I hated my job, y'all. And when I say hate, I'm going to use that word hate because it's appropriate about this job I was doing. Now, a lot of people don't like the word hate because, it evokes some negativity. And sometimes I tend to not use it. I use the word dislike because it makes people feel comfortable. But not this time. I hated this job. I was a project specialist at a hospitality IT company. And all I did is sit in front of computers all day. Now, when I was in college, my first major was computer science. Because I wanted to make all the money. All the money. But the first class I had, when I had to sit in front of that computer for hours, I dropped that class with the quickness. I went to the A building, and I don't know if y'all went to college back in the 80s, but you had to fill it out on a piece of paper. Put what you wanted to drop, and then put what you wanted to add. I don't even know what I was adding. I was getting rid of that, though. So when I say hate, it evokes the passion. You can't get the fire if I say, I just dislike my job. No, you got to hear and hate invoke that passion. Socially, it was a cool job, though. Hung out with a couple of people there, had fun. But there was also something else that I hated at the time. In the summer of 2015, y'all remember Freddie Gray uprising? I hated that I was so numb to what was going on in Baltimore. Baltimore murder rate was rising, close to 300. And I was sitting on the sidelines, not doing nothing. I would watch the news, and somebody say something about a murder, and I'd be like, oh, well, that's Baltimore for you, and turn to ESPN. But I did not like the way I felt because I wasn't helping out my city. This was the city that I grew up in. This was the city that I loved. This was the city that taught me everything I know. My trials and tribulations, a little kid from McCullough Homes, I grew up here. I used to catch the 2 buses when I was 10 years old to school. And that was back in the day you had to get the paper transfer. Remember that? And if you had to go to a 3rd bus, they had the puncher thing. Oh, y'all act like y'all don't remember. Okay, all right, okay. But that was me. The people of Baltimore City at that time, the black people, were crying out from the bottom of the well. They were looking for help. And I was on the sidelines. But however, I was going to get my chance. I was in church on Sunday. After church, pastor hit me up. He was like, yo, Dan, I need to talk to you in the back. I said, okay. Walking to his office, in the back of my mind, I'm like, what does this dude want to ask me now? At the time, I was the president of the men's ministry, so he's always asking me to do something. Get the men to paint, get the men to move this, whatever. So I figured it was something. We get to the back, and he says, I need you to do something for me. I got a mission for you. There's this grassroots organization called 300. They're doing some work in the city. I want you to go, and I want you to see what's going on, see what they're going to do, how they do it, bring it back, and see if there's something that the men of the ministry will want to be a part of. Now, in my mind, I was like, grassroots organizations in Baltimore? Man, these grassroots organizations, some of them, all they do is sit and talk about what they want to do, how bad Baltimore is, who should be doing something, and they just sitting there not doing nothing. I ain't trying to be a part of that. Why don't you go, find out what they're doing, and you bring it back to us, and then we'll see whether or not we want to go. I snapped out of that conversation in my mind, and he was like, so you going? And I said, I got you. I'm going. He gave me all the details, and the interest meeting was that week. I go to the spot, I open the doors, and I see nothing but a room full of black men. I mean, a room full of black men. And some of them had on this shirt, black shirt, with a 300 on it. It was bold. It was white. It hit my eyes like headlights. When the headlights blinded me, it was like a bat signal. When Batman see it, and they're like, they need me, that's how the 300 hit. And I was like, how do I get that shirt? I need that shirt. They started talking about what they were supposed to be doing. And they started talking about action. They were talking about going into the neighborhoods, engaging with the residents, engaging with the kids, keeping the peace in the neighborhoods that we're going to patrol. And I'm talking, there's about 40 of us, young, old. I was like, I'm down. What I got to do? But still, in the back of my mind, how can I get that shirt? So they said that we had to go through some training classes. We had to do some workshops, get to know the brothers, and then we'll start. Now, they had some supporter shirts that you could buy for like $25, bro. But I didn't want to be no supporter. I needed you to give me my shirt. When you give me, it's because you give me to be a part of 300. I was so excited, y'all. Loving what I was seeing, loving what I was feeling. And I went home, but I realized I still got to go to that job that I what? Y'all know. So it brought my spirit down a little bit. But I got back to church that Sunday, and I said, Pastor, I'm in. I'm going to rock with them for like 3 weeks, see what's going on, and if I'll bring it back, and if some of the men want to join with me, then that's what it's going to be. First Friday, we got there, and everybody's standing around, and they started giving us numbers. We had to count, we had to call off 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I was 2. They said, we're going to start over in Northeast Baltimore. A place called 4x4. I don't know if y'all know. It's one of the roughest areas in Northeast Baltimore at the time, right? We get to the edge of the 4x4, and they yell out 1, 3, 2, and 4. That means you got to get in line, whatever it is, right? But before I got there, I forgot to tell y'all. They handed me my shirt. Yo, I don't know what I had on that day, but it came off with the quickness. I put that thing on, and y'all remember the first time when Superman did this? Yo, that 300 hit, I was like, yo, that's what's up. This is dope. So now I'm back to the lines. So it's 2 on one side, 2 on the other. Line of brothers. And Before we get to 4x4, somebody yells out, 1, 2, and we're supposed to go 300. So we sitting there, somebody, 1, 2, 300, 1, 2, 300, and that's how they knew we were coming. And when we got to those neighborhoods, it seemed like everything stopped. People started coming out of cars and houses, and aunties was coming on the steps, and kids stopped playing, and we were engaging with all of them. They waited, and they knew that we were coming, and they received us, because we were making sure that their neighborhoods were going to be safe. That summer, before we marched, 4x4 had 12 murders. The summer after we marched, 1. So y'all know, this wasn't just one of those grassroots organizations. We was doing something. We marched from Hilton to Milton and back on North Avenue, 1, 2, 300. We marched from Old Town Mall to Park Heights to represent for Kendall Fenwick, 1, 2, 300. We marched from Baltimore to D.C. to the White House to make them advocate to help us decrease the murders. 1, 2, 300. It was one of the best things I was a part of. We were doing the work. Fast forward to 2017. 300 Men March has disbanded. And I was hurt, y'all, because I didn't understand. I got a freaking email that we wasn't doing this no more. You couldn't even freaking call me? God, is this what you're talking about? Look, I don't understand. Have you ever had a conversation? Let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a conversation with God? And you waited and you listened. I had one of them conversations. What he said to me is, my job, my community, and my church are all going to match. And I was like, this job? this job? And he was like, just wait. When 300 Men disbanded, I had no idea what we were going to do or what I was going to do. I still kept in contact with some of the brothers, some of the ladies that were part of 300. So it was all love with us there. Now, do y'all remember when DC had this problem of all these young girls getting snatched up, and y'all remember that?
Yes.
We were going to get together. My man Pop called me, rest in peace, Pop. He called me, he said, yo, let's get some of the brothers together. We going to DC. We was going to knock on some doors. Where they at? Where our young girls at? Turned out not to be true. But the brothers that we gathered up, we said, we going to do something in Baltimore. And we called ourselves Band of Brothers. And what we did is, we helped the community. We did Thanksgiving baskets. We helped out other organizations when they needed help. Wherever a black man, a black woman, black child needed help, we was there to help. Because that's what we do. And I was a part of that again. Again, I'm back in the game. I'm not on the sidelines no more. In May of 2017, I got a call from Erica Bridgeford. I don't know if y'all know her, E1 is what we call her. She called me up and she said, hey, dear, got a question. How would you like to be part of a citywide movement where we ask Baltimore to not do any murders for 72 hours in a weekend? And I said, of course. what I got to do? And she was like, all right, I got 4 other people. She told me about the conversation she had with her son about how the murder rate at the time was the highest it has ever been. And then she told me a conversation she had with our other co-founder, Ogun, where he was looking at a documentary about ceasefires. Can we do that in Baltimore? Yeah, of course we can. So me, her, Ogun, Latrice, Michelle, Jakia, we became a squad, the 6 of us. And we said, we are going to tell Baltimore how to be peaceful. How can you claim your peace? We started planning for what was called the Baltimore ceasefire. We met at a place called the Baltimore Community Mediation Center. And this place was dope, because what they did was, if you had a beef, like if you was beefing with him, they've mediated that and let you fight and let you hash it out peacefully. That's what this center did. And I said, that's a dope place for us to start this movement. You trying to solve peace while we're trying to bring peace. That's cool. That place was dope. It really was. So we planned and sent out notifications and everything. And in August of 2017, we had our very first Baltimore ceasefire weekend. Now, hold up. Check this out. At the time, somebody was getting killed in Baltimore every 19 hours. That means somebody's getting killed in Baltimore every day. Ceasefire weekend, the first person to get killed was in 42 hours in. Peace to LaMarr Trey. And guess what happened? The city was like, oh my God. How did that happen? What is going on? We got to do something about this. The city woke up, y'all. They weren't numb anymore. They weren't watching TV saying that's just Baltimore. They were saying we got to do something. And we had all these events where people were doing peaceful things, bringing around peaceful. Even Band of Brothers, we had our own cookout and everything. So people were waking up. And I was a part of that. I was a part of that squad. Now, in September of 2017 was a really poignant year for me, y'all. In September of 2017, I woke up. I was a little bit late. And had to drop the girls off at school, drive to work, got out my car, and I'm leisurely, because y'all know about this job. I hate this job. But I'm loving what I'm doing in the community. I'm just let y'all know that. I turn the corner to go buzz in, and I see my manager. Now I'm wondering, I hope you ain't got another job for me to do, because I ain't trying to learn nothing new. I walk in the door, I buzz in, and he says, hey, Darnell, can you follow me? So I'm following him. Take me to this side conference room. And guess what, y'all? Guess what? They were letting me go. Now, normally somebody would be like, oh my God, but not me. I had this big smile on my face like, oh, for real? Okay. What I got to do? What I got to fill out? They said, we got to get all our electronics back. Yeah, you got that. What else I need to do? But I got one question for you. Are you going to block my unemployment? And they said, no. I said, well, I'm out. Thanks. Peace. I went to the car, skipping. Got in the car. First call I made was to my wife. Said, babe, guess what? She's like, what? I just got fired. And she's like, oh, okay, well, what you going to do now? I said, I'm going to go home. I'm going to take a nap. And I'm going to go down to the mediation center and volunteer. Really didn't bother me, y'all. Around about October, though, money started getting a little funny. Unemployment was cool, but wasn't really sustaining everything. But in November, I got another call from E. And she said, hey, D, the Mediation Center is looking for a community engagement coordinator to head up their volunteers. What that person will be doing is taking this team into the city and explaining what mediation does and how mediators get it done. And I said, well, where do I apply? And she said, right here. I applied. And in December of 2017, I was the community engagement coordinator for the Baltimore Community Mediation Center, where Ceasefire was born. So I'm back in the game all around, y'all. I'm loving what I'm doing. Peace is reigning throughout the city. The people are loving what we're doing. The people are grasping peace. Conflict resolution is being talked about. And I'm just the person to bring it to them. This was the birth of a peace goon.